Event number 2 here at the North Park for the boys ages 16 and 17 here at the 2021 NOBULL CrossFit Games. Amanda Krenz is down on the field. She is Tanya Wagner. My name is Joel Godet. First day of a week of competition here in Madison, Wisconsin, and it all starts off with the age groups and the adaptive athletes. This is their second event. It is 5 rounds for time.
These athletes are going to do one rope climb at Legless for this 16 to 17-year-old boys division. And then the barbell weight for them is going to be 345 pounds. So 30 pounds higher than what we saw for the younger age division at the 14 and 15 division.
It's interesting to see how that weight plays at this level as well, and where that is based on some of these athletes 1RM with the amount of reps they're going to have to do over the course of this event.
It's a much different element, the legless, than it is when you can use your legs, especially with deadlifts. The compounding effect of your grip, you know, you have to go when your grip is ready, and the extra 5 feet than we're used to. We're used to seeing the 15-foot line.
Lane assignments to keep an eye on. Nate Ackermann is the #1 overall seed coming out of the age group online qualifier. Rokfi Gunnarsson is from CrossFit Reykjavik, Annie Thorisdottir's gym over in Iceland. David Bradley, the champ, is here from the 14 and 15 age bracket at the 2019 CrossFit Games. There is Nate Ackermann. He's the son of Julie Ackermann, former CrossFit Games athlete in her own right. Second appearance for these athletes here at North Park already today after the run this morning. Sunny skies for event 2 after their first event was delayed a little bit by rain. And look at the way they attack the rope climb. Before we get to the deadlifts, you can put your meal prep on autopilot with Trifecta. Chef-made macro-balanced meals delivered straight to your door. Visit trifectanutrition.com and use code CrossFit to get 40% off meal prep today. Tanya, not that I was shocked how quickly that went.
They are aggressive. Speed is the name of the game for these guys, but these are young bucks. This is what they do. This is what they can do. This is the way they train. They have the capacity to just push so hard, and in a shorter event like this is easy for them. I mean, in some rights, this is the older of the young division. So with some of them having some experience under their belt, a few years, and the weight of just wanting to get on the floor and showcase this, the volume that the younger athletes at the CrossFit Games have been training is just so high that seeing one legless rope climb for them is probably like, I know what I can do. I have confidence in that one. I know I can just rip through that.
That's the only athlete at the CrossFit Games from Austria on your screen right there, Elias Simbrooker. Making his second appearance at the Games. He was 7th in 2019. He is your current leader here in event number 2, although he is being pushed from behind in lane 17. Jace Peck, I mean, centimeters behind him, rolling his barbell forward. Jace Peck on his home turf. He's out of Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin, not too far from here in Madison. Younger end of the division at just 16 years of age. And it's actually Jace Peck that touches first.
He needed only 3 kips there for those last 3 pulls.
And you can see each one took a look down the lane. And Peck gets right on the barbell and goes. So he is now 3 reps ahead. And will move the barbell forward to his 5th and final round. The toll of the barbell has taken so much that just moving it forward is a chore. 2:30 left to go, and you can see the difference between the first rope climb and the 5th rope climb.
A lot more kips here. The final one, he was able to hold on and make it. Nice. Well done there.
Told us he was a good gymnast. Simbrooker now coming behind, but Jace Peck had to have seen the rope climbs and felt really confident about this. 3 more deadlifts here. This may wind up being one of the closest finishes we've seen from any of the age groups. Peck looks to his right, and he has a lead that I think will hold. It's getting closer, but Peck will edge out an event win in event number 2. So Jace Peck from down in lane 17 picks up the victory. Simbrooker winds up in 3rd. Nate Ackermann was able to come in 2nd place. Your number 1 overall seed out of the age group online qualifier. Elias Simbrooker in lane 15. One of 2 brothers competing, actually 2 pairs of brothers competing in the teenage divisions. 2 minutes left to go until the cap. We have 5 barbells still on round 4. Everyone else is either finished or on round 5 here. As we get a finish line cross from the aforementioned David Bradley off the top. Gabriel Greb with the stumble across, and Blazo as well is done with a minute and change. Maybe my favorite name, Miguel Buzaru, out of Sao Paulo, Brazil, the 16-year-old. He will finish here. All the way from Brazil, Tanya, his first ever CrossFit competition was the Granite Games several years ago. Came all the way stateside to compete.
That's exciting. I mean, you want to see where you stand. You want to be at a legit competition. Come on over. Test it out.
I was joking with you earlier. I was like, maybe like the Dark Bulls, like throwdown back in Brazil. Just had a tumble from the top of the rope for Evan Baker. That is still considered a controlled descent for the 17-year-old out of 3 Kings in Indianapolis. With 30 seconds left to go. Back to the rope. Evan Baker, tip your cap to this young man. He's on his 4th round of deadlifts. This 345-pound weight is 10 pounds off his 1 rep max. He has now lifted it 16 times.
I mean, that shows you just how impressive these boys are at their age. Different, stages of development for some of these guys. Like, there still is a lot of growth to happen for some of these in the 14 to 15 and 16 to 17 age division. And when you put it that way with near their maxes, it's so impressive his form was able to hold up even that strong. But really, when it comes down to this division, they were shot out of the cannon, and it was Simbrooker with this early lead. He was just so aggressive. But round 4 was where that speed kind of caught up to him. And as he slowed down, Peck was still just keeping his cruise. He was feisty on that rope. For all these legless, he was able to hold on, even though he had to change his technique there for the final pulls. They were all the kip. It was that speed. He was very aggressive, keeping his his eyeballs open, seeing where he was in the pack, and then just edged out Ackermann, who was right behind him on that final sprint.
Jace Peck is with Amanda.
I'm talking to the local boy. This is Jace. He's from right down the street, basically. Let's talk about the event first of all. And you had a competitor right on your tail. Were you aware of that?
I was very aware of that, yeah.
How did that push you during the event?
Honestly, I was just trying to keep my pace, stay consistent throughout the rounds, and just kind of push it at the end there. So that was good.
You've got to have a pretty good crowd here of friends and family since you're from just a few miles away, really. What's that like for you to be able to have that kind of support here?
Oh, man, it's amazing. It means everything to me. Having friends and family from out of town, from town, and everything supporting me from back home, it means so much.
You put on a good show today. Good job.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jace.
Here.
So we have a 16 to 17-year-old girls division here. They're going to do the 1 rope climb legless, and then they're going to do their 5 deadlifts. It's going to be 215 pounds. We only had 2 athletes in the 14 and 15-year-old girls division to complete this event, so I expect to see more with more proficiency on the rope. So I hope we see that.
lane assignments here. Jadzia Unarati Phillips from CrossFit Maven. That's the kind of teenage breeding grounds of great CrossFit athletes over the years in Southeast Michigan. Molly Chacon is a Scott Panchik disciple in lane 6 from CrossFit Mentality in Northeast Ohio. Emma Lawson in lane 10 is your top seed coming out of the age group online qualifier. It is interesting to note that the #1 overall seed in the girls 16 to 17-year-old age bracket is not in this competition. She is in the competition, though. That is Mal O'Brien, who has qualified as an elite individual woman. Olivia Sulek, who we just saw in lane number 11, she was also had an opportunity to do that. She competed at the Mid-Atlantic CrossFit Championships in the semifinals, did very well. She is here as a teenager.
I think with those showings, it just tells you the capacity and ability level of these ladies.
Underway here for the 16 and 17-year-old girls. This event and our broadcast brought to us in part by CBDMD. It's the CBD you can trust. Visit cbdmd.com/CrossFit and use the promo code CrossFit to get 30% off of your order today. Tanya, let's start there with this particular age group because of the fact that Mal O'Brien was #1 overall. She goes elite. Emma Carey is also supposedly in this division. She didn't even do the qualifier. She put all her eggs in the elite basket. She's competing over there as well. You've seen Haley Adams. You saw what Sulek and Emma Lawson did at the semifinal level. What to you has changed in recent years that this group, particularly on the women's side, more so than the men, they've been able to push through to compete not as age groups, but as the real deal?
You know, I really think girls' development a little bit earlier than some of the men in comparison, and the confidence that they have seen other ladies kind of get into the main division, the individuals, has given them that hope and that, you know, that they can do it as well. And the training consistency that they are able to do and just kind of get there. I still think developmentally, like the fact that Haley Adams stayed where she did was important to those team divisions, but she's just breaking through even now. But if you can get to the individuals and train among the best women, it really, the sooner you can get there, it just elevates your game. So it really depends. Do you want to dominate the teams, or do you want to go advance yourself because your plans are to be in the individual?
And maybe dominate over there as well. It all depends. Emma Lawson, you know, we don't say that to discount the ones that are here, because Emma Lawson competed at the semifinal round. She was 24th out of the individual quarterfinal rounds. Like, you are looking quite literally at the future of this sport right now.
Well, yeah, and it really does depend on you. You have to know what your mental capacity is and your ability, what your commitment to the sport at that age. Also, what are you willing to give up and what are you willing to do at this point in your life?
Claire Truax in lane 19 is currently in 4th place, the 4th to advance the bar onto the 4th round of this event.
I think it's important also, Joel, you know, this is such an important age division, but having fun is really important as well. You don't want to burn out in this sport too early. I've seen it many times through the years. The athletes that just can't go beyond, you know, they hit their number of years like, I'm just so done. And I don't want that for these girls.
First time we've seen Sophie Schaft. She is towards the front of the pack in lane 13, the American Ninja Warrior. Competed on that television show a couple of times, once as a youth athlete, once as an elite, as we make that distinction throughout this event. So the legless rope climb, you figure for Sophie Schaft, this is right in her wheelhouse, but you'll notice the tape on her right shoulder. She actually got hurt on American Ninja Warrior, so she's still coming back from that and still throwing down at a real high level right now. Lawson is your leader, though, on the right.
Making sure to get that leg lock.
She's scary good. Emma Lawson's going to finish in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Sophie Schaft is going to be right on her heels. So these are the top 2 young ladies in the 16 and 17-year-old division. Truax got out early. She's on round 5. one of 4 young ladies currently on round 5 with 2 minutes left to go here in event number 2. Maria Jose Vargas on the right. Elias Simbrooker on the left of your screen with the pink hair. So they now join the class of 6 that are on their final rope climb, this 5th rope climb.
And now, you know, it's not so much of a race between the 2 of them. When you look around the field and you know you've only had 2 athletes to complete, it's more important that you finish. You take a look at that time on the clock and you just play, just finishing is really fine. So no need to race, get ahead of yourself, even for that 1 placement if you're not ready.
Jad's Onorati Phillips here. So she'll finish in the top 5 inside 5 minutes. And the cap will become an issue here. So this now becomes, and you have to be smart about it, but Tanya, this becomes how many reps can I get? I've got to get in front of everybody, and you have to become uber conscious of what's around you. Finishing this rope climb is going to be massive on the leaderboard.
That is devastating to get near the top. So many of these ladies are just looking at the rope.
That's a huge rope climb. Talise just finished, so she is now back to the deadlifts. The 16-year-old out of Eto CrossFit down in Brazil. Great training ground in one of the fastest growing countries for this sport. It's submitted a team to the games this year for Mixed Brazil. So Talise is done, 10 seconds under the cap. Limited number of athletes able to finish here in event 2 for the 16 and 17-year-old girls, but it makes the performances just all that more impressive at the top. Emma Lawson, she comes in as the favorite out of the age group online qualifier, out of her performance in the semifinals, and she backs it up here on day 1.
She was at the CrossFit Games in 2019, stood on the podium in the 3rd place position, missed out last year, put a lot of time in her training. She dominated this event from beginning to end. And it's going to be all Lawson here. She was just very strong with that barbell, not an issue at all. She was really efficient on her rope climbs, 20-foot legless. Seemed to be no issue for her. The way she timed that out, grip wasn't a factor. She made sure she had clean reps through. She's a very smart athlete. She looks like she knows what she's doing, very aware. And I'm anxious to see her throughout the rest of this competition.
I know that Emma Lawson did her first ever podcast interview leading up to the games. So let's go down to Amanda as she does her first interview at the 2021 CrossFit Games.
Emma, I'm curious about what the first rope climb in this competition was like compared to the final rope climb you did.
It was definitely a lot harder than I thought it would be. The last rope climb, I could definitely feel my pulse starting to go, but yeah, first one felt really good because it was fresh. But
do you have to change technique, or what do you do?
On the first one, just to start a little bit quicker, I was just doing smaller pulls, just a little faster. And then by the end, I was just using my whole body to help kit me up. So yeah.
As a teenager in this sport, competing at this level, a lot of people may be curious about what kind of time you're spending training.
Yeah, I definitely dedicate a lot of time to my training, but I also try to have a balanced life, you know, with everything else too. So
far, so good with all of that.
So good.
Thanks, Emma.
Thank you.